If you ever wondered how to get into alignment with yourself, this feeling of fulfillment, contentment, you're good where you are right now, you're clear about the future, you're excited about the future, and everything seems to be going really well for you, that is alignment to me. And there are many different ways to get into alignment and mindset practices and methods and strategies, but Summer McStravick has a beautiful way, she calls it Flowdreaming, to help you get into alignment and generate that inner power that helps you do what you're meant to do. As always, before we get started, make sure you subscribe to my channel and you hit the bell so you're notified whenever new episodes become available here every week. Welcome to Powerhouse Business on YouTube. I'm your host, Carolin Soldo. I'm a business owner, business scaling master, and mom of 2 boys. I love thinking big, pushing boundaries, and doing things differently. Most of all, I'm all about achieving massive growth with ease and helping you scale your business while living the life you love. Let's go. Summer McStravick pioneered the art of flow dreaming, and flow dreaming really helps you program your future and grow your inner power and your ability to be seen. She's also built Flowdreaming.com, where you can browse materials for manifesting, mindset, and intuitive development to use in your daily life. Before Flowdreaming, Summer built Hay House Radio and produced hundreds of online and audio programs for your favorites like Louise Hay, Dr. Wayne Dyer, Abraham Hicks, and Susie Orman. Today, she's channeled the wealth of knowledge into her signature programs, Emmy School and Flow On, where she combines personal growth with a dash of woo, wealth, and magic. So welcome, Summer. So Summer, why don't you get us started by talking about flow dreaming and your explanation or description of what it really is?
Okay. Well, Carolyn, thanks for having me so much here. I really appreciate it, and this chance to share my world with your world, especially women and who are in business and powerhouses in themselves, which is what I do. I've built my own company and other people's companies as well. Flow dreaming is something that I began practicing maybe 20 years ago, when I was trying to figure out, how do I shape my future? How do I just communicate with the world where I want to go and who I want to be and the kind of opportunities that will drop into my lap? There must be a way other than just what everyone had told me. Go to school, get a good job, do these things, work hard, try to get raises. It's like all the typical stuff. And yet somewhere along the way, you feel like it's not enough.
Yeah.
Or it doesn't pan out the way it's been promised to pan out. And then you start asking this question, is that all there is? I mean, is that it? Because if we're all just running the same, race together, something isn't right. So I began to take all the upbringing that I've had. I had a really woo-woo upbringing. I'll just state that right there. But as a very practical person, it's like a strange Virgo mix in me. I realized, hey, my mind does so much. And if I'm going to get ahead, it's not just working hard. It's not just trying to figure things out and gain more skills, because I had been down that road, and I think a lot of people, watching right now have been down that road too.
Yeah.
There's always something extra, and you say, what is that thing? What is that thing? Mm-hmm. And I realized that I really had to start engaging with the universe. I had to start engaging. I don't care what you call it. You don't even have to believe in a universe or source or any of that. But you have to believe that there is some larger force that's sort of unfurling and mixing things together and creating the sets of opportunities. And sometimes I see it like little rivers of information. You can get really matrixy on this, little rivers of information, and they're coming together and they're weaving. Mm-hmm. Well, what's making the weave? My intention, my action, who I am, how I think and believe. So to make a long story short, I stumbled, in essence, on this technique, which I now call flow dreaming, where I was able to say, how do I reach into that and talk to it? How do I go into that state, that flow state? Yeah. So I took some of the ideas from Mihai Csikszentmihalyi, the father of positive psychology, the flow state. Mm-hmm. I took some of the ideas that I had grown up with, which is, how do I communicate to the universe? How do I communicate into something greater, using my emotions, using energy? Mm-hmm. And kind of mixed it all up together and came up with this technique. It's not meditation, because I learned that I'm not very good at meditation. It's not prayer, because I didn't feel like I was asking or trying to be good enough, or, we have complicated relationships sometimes with God. So it wasn't that either. It was just me saying life and whatever's happening and all the strands of things that are coming together for me to get to my goals. You need to hear from me, and I need to be a much more active and powerful force in this than I have been until now. Because a lot of us are really strong and are running our businesses and doing all the stuff that needs to be done. And we're very weak when it comes to, this is my life and this is how I feel about it. This is where we're going with it. And we don't ever do that non-physical communication. We only do physical work without doing the non-physical work.
Yeah.
Balance.
People don't know, and they're trying to get to it with the meditation idea, and it is very valuable. But I think then a lot of times it becomes counterproductive. And I used to be one of these people where my meditation was, first I have to visualize a big panda, then I have to visualize walking up there. It became a chore to do it right, and then I better feel good too, and like have the fulfillment already in my body, and it actually became counterproductive with all of it, and so people are looking for ways to actually become more intentional, but there's no processes and because we are so action oriented as people, right? So your process makes it much more graspable, if that's a way. Right?
Yes.
Where we can become much more of a driver, and it makes sense without overcomplicating things.
Exactly. Yeah. And Flowdreaming, the technique itself, is just stupidly easy. I mean, I shouldn't say it like that, but it really is. You take your imagination, you go into what I call a guided daydream, which is just like a daydream, except that you don't get lost. Normally you do. Don't get me on the topic of daydreaming. There is so much misinformation about it. It's as vital to you as nighttime dreaming. So you go into this process of guided daydreaming where you're seeing and feeling, you're keeping your mind really occupied. You're giving it I always say it's like giving your dog a bone. Throw the ball for your mind. Let it feel engaged, because my mind is always talkity. And that was my issue with meditation. I never reached a point of satisfaction with it. Yeah. So my mind feels so satisfied helping me. It says, oh gosh, you want me to go feel something and see something? I say, yes, we're about to communicate with our futures, with our life, with what we want. And I need you to feel it, and I need you to see it, and we're going to become it right now. And I think that's really key. Yeah. People talk about mindset and got to get the right mindset. And it used to only mean getting hyped up and confident, which for me is like a very old school way of describing mindset. Right. Mindset for me is, how big do you want to go? Who are you waiting to give it to you? Yeah. Did you self-select yourself for this? I mean, because you have to. If you're waiting for someone else to pick you to become the next, superhero in your industry, no one is sitting around with a table and a ledger saying, well, I think we're going to pick her or him.
I know.
So what are you waiting on?
What do you see? What are the biggest blocks? Speaking of, people reaching their goals, and, a lot of our audience members are in business or in a high power career, and we're high achievers, big hearted high achievers. Yeah. What are some of the biggest blocks that you see are, standing between people's full potential and feeling great, right? And where they are right now?
Well, first of all, I love high achievers. I work with a lot of them. These are people who they've already found a certain path or model for success. Usually they're naturally smart. They have a good ability to acquire skills. They work their little tails off, and maybe they're the overachiever type too. They got where they are based on all of that. And then they reach a point where they say, I'm really exhausted now. Right. I'm tired. I'm still not where I want to be. I'm afraid to stop. Yes. I can't stop. Nope. Everything will fall apart. Yep. And I say, you built your business on the wrong model or your career. You didn't build something on a hamster wheel where if you don't constantly overwork and do the stuff, it's all going to leave. I mean, like, what did you build? Did you mean to do that? And they're like, no, but that's what everyone said to do. And I did. And it worked. It worked so well that now I can't do anything else. Yeah. And we say, okay, that's a block right there. Speaking of, right? That's something where we now need to recognize, like you've probably taught people this. you bring your company or your career to a certain level, you build your business to say, and it's often typical stuff like the first 100,000.
Yes.
By doing a lot of stuff on your own and you're figuring stuff out and you're working all the time. And then you get your business to like 500,000 and you're still doing that stuff, but you realize, gosh, I have to learn how to delegate and I have to do other stuff. And then you get your business to 1 million and there's all these like stopping plateaus because if you run that $1 million business on the same way you built the 100,000, even though it was so successful getting to 100,000, you'll never make it to the million ever.
Yeah.
You have to constantly let go and relearn the new way that will take you to the new amount. And it's scary as anything for a lot of people.
Yeah.
Because how do you let go of something that used to work? This is where, again, I bring in the flow.
Yeah.
I say, look, let's use this technique to figure out, hey, future, I want to move to the next level. I'm open and willing. Can I have all the opportunities? Sorry, I will close my eyes when I really go into it. That's where I go. So I'm going to talk to you with my eyes closed. Hey, Flo, let's go to this next level. I believe that I should be out there sharing this message. I should be leading this conference. I have a lot to say and I need to be seen. And it's an act of service from me. And it's an act of God for me, an act of charity for me. It's an act of everything. Let's do this. I'm not waiting on anyone to finally give me the crown or anoint me and say, okay, you're the big star now. I'm going to be the big star. I am the star. I'm a star in myself. I'm a star in my life. When I talk to other people, I exude that feeling, that confidence, that knowingness, because I've worked for it, not just physically, but in myself. I've grown myself to the point where I can hold all the bigger stuff. And people always ask, I want more money. I want a bigger business. I want a bigger whatever. And I look at them and say, you haven't built yourself inside big enough to hold that.
Yes.
You might get it. You're going to drop it.
100%. They're drivers. It's so beautiful how you describe it. To me, I often call them drivers when the driver is just always, how can I make more money? How can I make it better? How can I get more clients? Just more and more and more. And those drivers will eventually, you'll hit that ceiling and you can't get beyond that ceiling or crack that if you don't, like you said, work on your mind and your beliefs and what you're thinking and what you're feeling, because it'll catch up. And then you mentioned something so powerful, this fear of losing it all. And you've seen so much evidence of your success from that hard work. So it works. And now you need to buy into something new or add it to a mix. And what if that doesn't work? You don't have any proof that that's going to help, but it's the only way.
And in Flowdreaming, that's why, on the surface, it's a method for manifesting, right? It's not law of attraction. I never even use those terms. It's a way of communicating and being a presence that is constantly communicating with my future. Because my future is happening, like we're 15 minutes in the future now than when we first started. I'm already there. What am I? It's not that the future is random. It's what I am bringing into it every second. So you want to change something, it starts right here, right in this moment, by starting to be that person. So I work on things like beyond fear, inner healing, busting through ceilings in your beliefs and your thinking. Most people shoot way too low because they think higher is unrealistic. So they take these really tiny, prove it to me, I'm going to go a little bit more. Prove it to me, I'll go. There's so many different areas you can work on. But fear for me is one of my favorites because whenever you're sharing yourself or your gifts or, your skills with the world, the one thing that holds you back over and over again, whether it's picking up a phone call and saying, hey, do you want to talk to me about this amazing thing that I do? Or booking an interview with getting on an interview, speaking on a stage, there was always, I call it the fear cliff. There's always this part of you that comes up. And unless you know what that means and what it is, I see every fear now as everything I want is on the other side of that.
Ah, yes.
Everything I want is on the other side of it. Fear to me is not something scary now. It's an indicator light. It's like, oh, I got a turn light on. It's telling me, oh, you asked for your next step. Bing, bing, bing. Here's the fear. This is it. This is it.
So you expect it.
I didn't.
Yeah. It's coming.
So,
yeah. That's so great. And well, that actually, I need to ask you this question too, because it's about decisions, right?
Yeah.
How do you make your decisions?
How do I make decisions? Okay. And this is kind of on the topic of, how to find your avenues of growth through flow, right? Which is often about decision making. Do I do this or do I do that?
Yeah.
First of all, some decisions are a lot bigger than others. So I always practice by making lots and lots of small decisions. It's sort of like trust. You do little bits of things, you build the trust, and you can make a bigger decision more comfortably because you trust yourself. Then I'll make a bigger decision until I can make the biggest decisions of all. And this is what happens when a person is deciding, do I want to spend $1,000 to build a website? Biggest decision in the world. And they do it and it works out. And then they go, well, maybe I'll spend $5,000 in advertising. Do I do it? It works out. And then they say, well, maybe I'll spend, $50,000 on coaching. And they do it and it works out. They don't do that first. They've built themselves to that point. So I'm a big fan of making very small, tiny choices that lead to these bigger and bigger senses in yourself of trust, not just of your own decision making, but of the universe. And that's a big part of, again, the flow dreaming world, the non-physical work we do. Most of us don't trust the universe at all. We don't trust life.
Nope.
We don't trust our future. We squeeze the hell out of everything, if I can say that.
Yeah.
We do. We squeeze it with control.
Yeah.
And that's another one of the blocks, to go back, that a lot of high performers have. They controlled everything so well that they've squeezed it like this. And they don't let anything else in their life, they don't trust anything else to help them, to be on their side. They think they do all the decision making and all the action and everything. Because it worked in the beginning.
It works. It's tough. I find myself there once in a while where I catch myself retraining my mind to say, but this, but you've seen it before and you have the evidence. And yes, you made mistakes, but you learn from them and it's all good. But I still have to maybe talk myself back into it sometimes.
Yeah.
So...
Because of I talked about trust and not trusting. So I consider myself an active participant and I consider non-physical an active participant. My physical self and my non-physical self. Like we're here like side by side, right? We're both making decisions. But if I take all of that away from the non-physical, if I take it away from the, I'm trying to think about how to describe this for you. There's the physical work that we do and the non-physical work that we do. There is the active actions that we take. And then there is the intention and the vision and the interconnectedness, and that's something a bit higher. And I sometimes describe it like you're the captain of your boat, but you don't control the ocean. So don't tell me there's no ocean there, because you're not going to get a good sea voyage.
Love that. Yeah, that's a good
But a lot of us act like we're controlling both, or the ocean just isn't there. And we only get half as far.
Yeah.
So in keeping with that, one last thing, because they all kind of go together here. And I know I'm throwing a million concepts on you. I just love talking about this stuff.
This is the cool thing. You never know where these conversations go, and they always go where they need to go. I trust that so much. Yeah, please keep going. It's great.
With decisions, another thing is I used to fear, what if I make the wrong one?
Yeah.
What if I lose something?
Right.
What if I burn a bridge? What if? When I practice my flow, and this is again using my flow dreaming, here's how I look at it. I'm always putting myself into a kind of alignment with life, alignment with my future. This is who I am. This is how I feel. This is what the feelings I want to have in my life. And my work and my career, it's just a path, just a means to get to those feelings. Could be any different career. I might be good at 5 or 10 different careers, but I picked one to get to a certain set of feelings that I want to have. So if along the way I'm making decisions, and let's say one of those decisions is pretty bad, I just really screw up and blow it. Instead of feeling like, oh, I drove off the road, I will never get back on the road again, I'm always talking with myself, my energy, my flow, and saying, hey, if I do make a bad decision, would you nudge me back on where I need to go? Would you nudge me back on? So I never not have that feeling of, even if I screw up, I will get nudged back on.
Yeah.
I get nudged back on. And I allow that to happen because if I don't constantly try things, I don't know which ones are going to work out more than others.
True.
So I have to constantly kind of drive off the road. It's like bumper cars,
So you're actually
get nudged onto the right one.
So you're actually safe because you never actually go off the road because you always if you're listening and you're feeling, you always know how to redirect. So your path is sort of like, weaseling your way through, so to speak, and constantly redirecting. That's a powerful way to look at it. I love that. That's great.
Yeah, so I run my life based on that. And, along the way is, well, where do you want to go with this? What's exciting to you? What's interesting to you? And I know all the decisions we have to make. It's not just what we like, but is there an audience for this? What will other people like it too? Yeah. Are there other people who I think are doing it better than me already? That's another one.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, all these beliefs, I just want to knock them all down, rearrange them in people's heads, and just give them the flow process and go, okay, now do this.
Summer, can you give us an example of, I don't know, maybe you have a story. We all have these like moments in time where we're like, oh, I learned this and I learned that doing this. And do you have any examples of your past where you used your methods really well, or you were able to like really leverage them in the best ways possible?
Yeah, I do. I'll tell you. It's a classic story for me, and I'll make it as short as I can. I never intended to do any of this work. I went to college for literature and writing, and I was supposed to enter publishing, and my family was involved in publishing, and was not going to do any woo-woo weird stuff at all. Run as far as I could away from it. So I graduate, and I'm doing copy editing and page layout design of books, and have my own little business going. And I start a magazine for the literary community here in San Diego. And it's pretty much all the profit I made outside of rent was going to pay for printing of this. And I just couldn't get this thing to work. My husband and I did it together. We would print like 30,000 copies at a time, and we just couldn't get the advertising. It was when everything was shifting online. So this was back in like the late 90s. And we didn't realize that we had kind of missed the boat on print advertising. Nobody wanted to buy that anymore. So at the time, what I did is I said, all right, well, I guess I have to shut this down. And I just said, hey, future life, I don't want to shut this down. This is what I want to do. I want to grow a publishing empire. I want to do books and magazines. I don't understand why this is being taken from me. Why I work so hard. I'm smart. I mean, why? Why is this being taken from me? One day I sent a letter, a typed letter, to a local publisher, and I was so desperate. I said, do you have any freelance work? Because I'm struggling here. I'm trying to get this I'm paying for this magazine. Sent a letter saying, if you have it, just let me know. I never followed up, never called them. And I get a call, and it's Hay House publisher, huge publisher, huge multinational publisher. And they said, hey, I got your letter. And I think to myself to this day, how strange is that? Just one letter that I was too scared to I wasn't going to call them. I was too scared to follow up. But that one thing happened. That one thing, because I kept saying to my flow and my life and my future, I want to publish and I want to make a difference. And I want to be in a way that I can. And I think it's this magazine. And my life said to me, it's not the magazine, stupid. Wake up. Go work for Hay House.
Yeah.
And that was it. But I had to lose. I think I lost around $30,000, $30,000 to $40,000 on that first business. I never recouped it. And I was like in my 20s. It was, that was a lot of money.
Oh, of course.
But then I worked for Hay House, and they taught me everything I need to know about running a publishing company and about working with all these, masters of mindset and
unbelievable
thinking, and Wayne Dyer and Louise Hay and all that.
It's incredible.
So for me, that's one of the most crazy synchronous examples ever. And even more compelling is I was even reluctant. I didn't even want it. In fact, they offered me a full-time job, and I turned them down. I said, no, I think I want to stay freelance. And my boss said, are you sure? I said, why don't you just try it for 2 weeks? And I said, okay, but if I don't like it, can I go back to freelance? I can't believe it's just like, I think now, like, God.
Summer, would you say, I find this so interesting, was this decision to send the letter sort of like sometimes you have these ideas. They sort of feel good, but they're scary. They're these like little like voices. I don't know how to describe it, but was it sort of like a nudge? Like, how do you describe that feeling when you thought, oh, maybe I'm going to write this letter and I'm going to send it in?
Actually, none of that. Surely, I had no thoughts on it whatsoever. And for me, so this goes right back to that sense of how do you make a decision? Well, in this case, I like to feel that the decisions I make are so in alignment with what my ultimate, I call them emotional endpoints, right? My feeling goals. All the things I do aren't to do the thing, it's to get to certain feelings, right? So I made a decision, I'm going to just send a letter. I didn't think one thing or another about it, but I have this understanding that I do things all the time that I don't even have to know are amazing or get a sense or butterflies around, because I'm so in alignment. I will just do the thing and it will happen. It will work. Does that make sense?
Yes.
I have that much trust in, I'll make a decision that I won't even know is mind blowing till afterwards. And then I'll go, oh, well, I was obviously in alignment. Yes. Like for me, that's such a relief, because then I don't have to agonize as much over everything.
So good. Then you don't have, then it's much easier. Then you just let it go. Oh, so great. Yeah. And you said feelings to me too. It's, through all this struggle and pain and ups and downs, the one thing that's always really brought me back is this idea that if I can't feel happy, it's not worth it. So I don't want to beat myself up right now. I don't want to fear. I don't want to be in lack. I don't want to worry all the time. Hey, if I have to do that, then I might as well go volunteer with animals and be happy. And like, why would I put myself through this? So maybe this is not working for some people, but for me, this was like, let's claim the happiness again. Let's bring it back. So what are some of your, maybe there are affirmations or mantras or thoughts or beliefs that you love for yourself?
Ooh, well, I already kind of described one called Beyond Fear. That was a concept that I adopted about 5 or 6 years ago when I realized that everything I wanted was stuck behind my own fear. And if I could just take everything that happened to me that I was afraid of, any moment and any time of day, if I said, oh, I don't want to do that now, I'd say, why not? Well, because I don't think I'll like it. It won't feel good. Well, why not? Well, I'm a little afraid to do it. Oh man, then I had to do it. I mean, it was just like, oh, now you have to do it. So I put myself on this kind of schedule where I would, every time I hit a fear, I just went, okay, the only way out is through. Right? And that's another saying of mine that I'm always reminding me, the only way out is through. Everything I want is on the other side of this. Because if it's not an uncomfortable feeling, it's a comfortable feeling. And a comfortable feeling means you've already been here. You know this room. You've been circling this area. It's uncomfortable because you don't know it. Bingo. You asked for the next thing. It's uncomfortable. There you go. There it is. And I always mean a good sort of discomfort. I don't mean like a, scary, bad feeling. Anybody who's done this, you know the difference between. So I mean, those I have a lot though. I have things I call magic phrases that instantly kind of shift the way I feel about something. Of course, I go into flow all the time. I start my day with some Flowdreaming. I do it really any time of the day now when I feel like, hey, I'm not really in alignment on this. Or let's say there's something I really want to have happen. I just finished a launch of a new program of my own. What do I do for that? I move in and I do all the physical work and all my emails are shooting out and all my webinars, all that's going on. But the other part of it is don't forget the other side. Don't forget the ocean. So I go to the ocean, go in my flow, and I'll say, all the right people are here with me. This is, I am on purpose. They're on purpose. It is a win-win-win. This is flawless, effortless, easy. This brings in all the income I need to keep growing it even more. It is fully supported in all ways. Fully supported. Now I'm speaking these things so you can hear me, but otherwise you just hear me being silent. Because what I am is I'm actually feeling these things.
Right.
I'm generating this emotional content inside of me. Now this emotional content is part of me. It stays with me. And tomorrow I'll make more of this emotional content. The next day, even more of that emotional content. Over time, and you can see how this would happen over many years, I've grown a lot of emotional content in me that is exactly the kind of content I want.
Right.
Not stuff that just happens that I'm reacting to, which is what most people's emotional content is.
So,
and this for me is how I steer things.
I love it. It's such a, and this is why, guys, if you watch it, it's why I like the Flowdreaming method so much, because you can lean on it any time of day. When you're looking at Summer, right? I'm looking at you. I'm like, this is like you integrated this. This is your way of, getting back into alignment, soothing yourself. Like you said, speaking to the ocean, all of it. And it's almost like natural. So you clearly have a skill in terms of choosing the right words. And
I hope so. Yes,
I try. But some people may feel like, I don't even know what to tell myself. Like, I don't know. Like, Summer has these words and they feel great and I want that for myself. But when I sit there in my office every day, how do I actually come up with that? So, practicing Flowdreaming more and getting into your world more and studying it, you will develop it, right? So you teach people how to do that.
I do. And like we talked about in the beginning, it's often it's people from all walks of life, but particularly people who are high achieving. They've reached that plateau, or they're burned out and afraid that they'll just slide back. And we say, okay, now we need to talk about things that have brought you here. How about your fear of not being safe in your life, not having enough in your life? How about your fear that if you let go of control, everything will collapse around you? How about your sense that you don't trust that the future or life really is there to support you and you've always got to force your way through? How about, right? And there's all these things and you start to just touch on them. Yeah. And the practice is right there, behind you, with you all the time to support you. It's not just about seeing things. Like, I'm all big on aha moments and all that, but aha moments trickle by and you forget them. I like things that you practice, that become part of you, that you rely on, that start paying off for you day after day after day. And so for me, the Flowdreaming process is it's just so easy to do. You asked me, like, what emotions do I want to feel or what words do I use? Words are secondary. I mean, even images are secondary. You don't even have to visualize anything. Sometimes people say, do you have to really visualize? I can't visualize. I'm like, no. How do you want your business to feel? How do you want to feel in your career right now? Do you want to feel like I can take my foot off the pedal and everything will even get better? Whoa, that's a concept. Do I want to feel like this has been a really hard year and I want to pivot successfully and I'm scared? Okay, what does that feel like? I've made a really successful pivot. It worked. Life was on my side. It trusted me. I trusted it. We did this together. I pivoted. I went exactly where I needed to go. Yeah. I didn't even know if I was making the right choices. I just did it. And because I was in a state of mutual trust, it worked. Oh God, I want to feel that. When you get those feelings, like, you'll get goosebumps, Yes.
So you're saying that when you know the feeling, the words will come. And you already know the words.
Yeah. And just when you're in flow, you honestly just feel the feeling. Yeah. You can use words, that's fine too.
Absolutely.
But I'm getting into alignment, I'm feeling it, I'm sensing it. It's an emotional, energetic practice. Yeah. And then what do I want for me? Who am I? I'm content, I'm powerful, I'm pivoting, I'm trusting, I'm safe. Like, you'll find the words that you'll eventually discover are driving a lot of everything you do. Yeah. And then you'll get to choose, do I trust these things? Do I have enough of them? Do I want to make more? It's a journey. I mean, it's a personal growth journey.
Absolutely.
Ultimately.
And you have, I want to talk to you about a way that we can get started too, right? So getting into it now, people are wondering, well, this makes a lot of sense. And so how do I start? And you have a massive amount of content, obviously. And
I do.
There's no shortage. Content. Coaching and courses. But you also have a free gift, right? That people can get. And you can download that below in the description. But Summer, tell us about that.
Yes. So basically, I teach the concept of flow for free. And I always have. I don't charge people to learn what it is and how to do it. I feel like it's almost like a God-given right. Like, everybody should know how to do this. So I put together this little kit. It's a MP3. It's a tutorial where I talk you through the process. I give you a flow dream that I've recorded. I give you an introductory PDF and a quick start guide, all of this. And it's free. You should have the link for it, or it's at my site, flowdreaming.com.
Yeah, well, the link is below in the description.
Is below? Awesome. Yeah. And it will teach you what to do. Now, when I say I record these flow dreams, just like you said, a a lot of times when you go in, you're not really sure what to do for yourself or what to feel.
Mm-hmm.
So over the years, I've compiled all of these different topics that I know people want to fix or change or grow or become.
Mm-hmm.
And so I will do the narration for you, essentially. I record this onto an MP3. I do the narrating. Now it frees you to just do the feeling of it.
Yeah.
You don't have to think about where am I going or what should I see. So it's kind of like a crutch, you know, it's an effective crutch. Mm-hmm. People love them, mm-hmm. but that's what they're there for. And there's hundreds of those. You have to buy those though. But the actual How to Flow Dream,
yeah,
and the first one, Positive Flow, is free, and you can grab it.
I think that's amazing. And it's you know, when you're getting started, it will take a little bit of just getting into it and like getting it and feeling it, and then you're gonna love it and you're gonna want more. And having all the different topics, it's so great because whatever we want to work on, to your point, we can find a topic and, you know, we can listen to you and then keep working on it on our own, integrating it until maybe the next one, you know, will pop up for us. So definitely check it out. Again, the link is in the description. I you know, if you've never done this before, I would love for you to do it. It's going to change the way you feel about everything and you know, all the things that are possible for you. And I really believe that without happiness, we're nothing, right? It's all we ever want. All the hard work is for us to feel fulfilled, and we all deserve it. And
may I mention one more thing? Please. I think especially people watching this will be relating to. I've recently put together a series of courses, little master classes and courses that people can just kind of purchase that will expand their understanding.
Awesome.
But one really good resource is called Happy Wealthy Entrepreneur, the Entrepreneur's Flow Book. It's a set of 7 flow dreams that you listen to one each day, and it targets one aspect of your business after another. Team building, money, cash flow, your boundaries and your fears, going big. Like all the things that I've had to encounter, I wrote 7 of them and I went, these are the 7 core areas. If I work on one a day each week, wow. So I just want to mention it because, you know.
Yeah. How do we, and where can we access it? On your website or?
Yeah, that's it. Again, flowdreaming.com. Just go there and look for the shop and just type in entrepreneur and it should pop up.
Amazing.
But I would just suddenly occurred to me that one might be very relevant.
It's stacking the beliefs and it's like building strength in all the important areas in business one by one. It's brilliant. Yes.
Yeah.
Awesome.
You build yourself, you can build anything physical on top of it. But it's all about how strong is that foundation of your building that you're trying to put that career or anything else on top of.
Absolutely. Summer, I wish I could talk to you forever. I mean, literally.
I could go on forever too, believe me.
This is so great, but I want to respect your time and our audience's time too. So step number 1 for you guys watching us is to, you know, connect with Summer. Take a look at the free resources that are below, the resources on her website. There is so much, and you will not regret it. I am a huge fan. I'm using her process, and I know firsthand how powerful it is. And you know, you're a giving heart. You're amazing. So I want to thank you, Summer, so much for taking the time and being here with me today. Really appreciate it.
Thank you so much, Carolin. Wonderful conversation. Thank you.
Absolutely. This was fun. And now I would love to hear from you. What were your biggest takeaways from today's episode? What do you think about flow dreaming? Are you going to try it? Are you already a believer? Well, down below in those comments, leave me your thoughts, your feelings, how you're going to move forward and how you're going to manifest exactly what you want in life. There's nothing more than feeling fulfilled, feeling on purpose, and knowing that you're on the right path. If you like this episode, make sure you give us a like, leave us a comment, subscribe to our channel, and make sure you come back again next week. Stay focused on your goals, my friend. I believe in you. I believe in your inner power, and I'm here to give you the tools to do what you're meant to do. Thank you so much for watching today, and I'll see you soon. What if you've been living your life on autopilot and there's never enough time for the things that truly matter, like your family or your health? The truth is that at some point, most people settle and they accept that this is just how life is, until it's too late and they finally hit a wall. I stopped living on autopilot and decided to live a beyond fulfilling life in all areas of life. And now I want to show you how to do the same. I want to teach you how to completely change the direction of your life in just 4 simple steps and start to live a beyond fulfilling life no matter what situation you're in. This is a completely new way to assess your life and find what you really want, why you want it, and how to get it. Make fulfillment your priority and act now.